Chief Justice is a title few judges earn.
Chief Justice Budd, how are you?
Hello.
Kimberly Budd has earned it, recently appointed head of the Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court. Her name etched in history as the first Black woman to fill that seat on the state's highest court.
I think this will be the first time I say this. I'm Chief Justice of the Supreme Judicial Court of Massachusetts.
And how did that feel?
I'm very excited, but it's hard to believe, frankly.
Her resume speaks for itself.
Budd's nomination was bittersweet. She's filling the seat left vacant by her friend and mentor, the late Chief Justice Ralph Gantz, who died suddenly in September.
Ralph really was one of a kind, both managing what goes on here at the SJC and managing what goes on throughout the court system. He just did a great job, and so those are really big shoes to fill.
The shadow of her predecessor looms large, but the weight of her ancestors' dreams, the burden of representing her race, is heavy.
I can't screw this up as a Black woman, because if that happens, another person may not get a chance. So yeah, I feel like I've got some pressure on me.
The SJC is the oldest appellate court in continuous operation in the Western Hemisphere. 328 years of existence before a Black woman was tapped to lead it.
It says more about society than it does about me personally. It's not like I'm the first woman of color who could have done this job. That's not the case. So I'm thrilled that I have the opportunity, and it's a little sad that it's taken this long for a Black woman to be here.
It's a historic moment that Budd's father, legal titan Wayne Budd, didn't think he'd ever see.
When I became a lawyer back in 1968, I made an appearance before the Supreme Court. And of course, they were all old white guys. And I'd never dreamed that I'd ever see an African American there, much less my own daughter. It means the world to me.
Now a practicing litigation attorney, Wayne Budd has served as a U.S. Attorney for the District of Massachusetts and an Associate Attorney General of the United States before that.
Kim has a way about her. She's a leader, but not a loud, boisterous leader. But people want to follow her and follow her lead. And that's why she's going to be successful at this job.
A sentiment echoed by the man who nominated her, Governor Charlie Baker.
Great listeners, and Kim Budd is a great listener, give people a sense that their views, their ideas, that they matter. More than anything, at this particular time, this court needs to be led by someone who listens.
There has been recent renewed scrutiny on the U.S. justice system for their treatment of people of color. Do you see your appointment as an opportunity to bring about change?
Dealing with systemic racism in the criminal justice system, there's no question that it's there, it's a big problem. It's certainly one of the things that I want to take a look at. This has been going on for 400 years, so I'm not going to fix it in 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, but it's certainly going to be one of my main priorities to figure out how we can break the cycle.
Budd will be joined on the bench by 2 new justices of color, Justice Serge Georges and the first Latina SJC Justice, Dalila Wendlandt.
It's groundbreaking, and I look forward to seeing what we do. So this is the consultation room.
So this truly is the room where it happens.
And here we sit by seniority as well.
So that's your seat?
It will be. I haven't had a chance to sit there yet because we have not been meeting in person.
Budd joined the SJC in 2016 and in those 4 years has authored more than 85 decisions. But the law isn't her only love. She's married and the mother of 2 sons.
Being a working mother, as you know, it's very difficult.
When her kids were in school, she stepped back for a few years, taking a part-time position at Harvard Business School as an administrator.
I absolutely know what every working mother is going through.
Chief Justice Kimberly Budd represents success for so many.
I am excited about the fact that people will see me as the chief and will say, hey, maybe I could do that. That's important to me.
A strong jurist and a true leader, serving on the state's highest court for all to see.
It's kind of exciting. I have a chance to really make a mark, and I hope to do that. We'll see. Come back in a couple of years and let's see what we've done.
I'm going to hold you to that. Chief Justice Budd grew up in Peabody, then studied at Georgetown University. She returned to Massachusetts to attend Harvard Law, class of 1991. Now, she shared this picture from her law school days. You may recognize one of her classmates here on the left. Yes, that is President Barack Obama. Now, that is quite an impressive class. After meeting remotely throughout the pandemic, the SJC's oral arguments in February and March have been held in person for all who chose to be in the courtroom. Chief Justice Budd and 4 of her colleagues sat in person. Next, helping girls and women to rise.